Hello friends, welcome back. So in this lecture we will start with our unit 5, that is advanced solving techniques. So in this lecture we will see what are the methods of the methods used in this advanced solving techniques. Okay, basically there are three things. That is, first one is nodal analysis, mesh analysis and source transformation. Okay, so in nodal analysis we will select the nodes and we will solve the problems. Okay, basically it is finding current. Okay, it is a combination of Ohm's law and KCL. Coming to mesh analysis, most of the problems we will use nodal analysis only, but there are few problems that we cannot apply nodal analysis, and there this mesh analysis we can apply, but we don't prefer this method, that is because it is much time consuming. Then third one is the source transformation. It is nothing but transforming the source voltage to source current or current source to voltage source. Okay, so basically these are the three types of solving techniques in the advanced level. In this nodal analysis we have divided into level 1 and level 2, and here is the level 1. We will discuss about this. Okay, so we will start with the nodal analysis, then we will move on to the mesh and source transformation. Okay, so coming to this part, this is the first one, and you see that here is a node voltage V1, because here is one node, this is node, and this is 0 volt node. So when it is 0 volt, it is nothing but grounded. Okay, so whenever you are calculating, the current flows from higher potential to lower potential. Okay, so we will take V1 and see the direction of current, it is moving towards 0 volt. So V1 minus 0 volt upon 3 ohm. So it is nothing but V upon R, which will give you current. Okay, so in this nodal analysis we are basically calculating the current, and it is the combination of Ohm's law, so V by R, and we will apply KCL also. Coming to the second one, see the direction of the current, it is moving opposite, but what we have learned? We have learned that the current must flow from higher potential to lower potential, but here in this case it is happening opposite. So it means that this V1 can be negative also. So whenever the direction is opposite, we will take in the negative. So 0 minus V1 upon 3 ohms. Again it is V by R, so it is I. Okay, coming to this third one, so it is moving from V1 to V2. So we will assume that V1 is at the higher potential. So I is equal to V1 minus V2 upon 3. Next, coming to the fourth, now the current has become opposite. So we will assume V2 is at higher potential. I is equal to V2 minus V1 upon 3 ohms. Coming to this fifth question, now there we have introduced a battery in the branch. So what will be the condition? Here is V1, current is flowing in this direction. So we will assume V1 is at higher potential. So I is equal to V1, and how we will do in KVL? It is nothing but we will take the sign that comes after the polarity, after the battery, that is minus V, minus 5 volts, and we have assumed that it is already in lower potential, so we will take minus V2 upon summation of the resistors, that is 3 ohm. So why has this become V2 negative? We have seen in earlier lectures that we will connect a source voltage and we will take the sign that is afterwards. Here it is plus, if this is plus then it should be minus. Similarly, coming to the sixth problem, I is equal to, now the current is flowing in this direction, so it will be V2. Now the sign has changed, okay, the polarity is changed, so we will take plus 5 minus V1 upon summation of the resistors, that is 3 ohms. So in this seventh one, again the direction of current, let us take in this way. If it is I, then I is equal to V1 minus V2 upon 1 ohm. So when you do this, it will be wrong. That is because we already have the current source in the circuit. So it will be 3 ampere current flowing in whole of the branches. So directly we can write I is equal to 3 amperes. So coming to this one also, here also I is equal to 3 amperes. So if you write I is equal to V2 minus V2 plus 5 minus V1 upon 3, then this will be wrong. Okay, same amount of current will flow in whole of the branch. So whenever there is a battery and current source will be dominant in the branch. Okay, so we will move on to the next level, that is level 2, and we will see what are some of the conditions to solve the nodal analysis. There are some 3 points in it. We will use that to solve the nodal analysis. Okay, so coming to that, there is a procedure to solve the nodal analysis method. Okay, now this nodal, it is applicable only for both for planar as well as non-planar. So what do we mean by planar and non-planar? Now if you take this one plus minus, if you take this circuit and here is some load, then this is in the 2-dimensional area. Okay, so if this is in 2D, then we will call it as a planar network. Okay, and if you draw like this, and you have a jump over, you have got a jump over here, and then here is some resistor. So this does not mean that it is in 3-dimensional. Okay, so this is also we will consider it is in 2-dimensional structure only. So these both are in planar. So what do you mean by non-planar then? Non-planar, how does this non-planar circuit look? Basically it is in a 3D dimensional, but we cannot show on board how the 3D direction is. So what we will do here is, if this is the given circuit and if there is some connection between here to here, the back side, if we cannot see that, we will draw a line here and connect it over here. Similarly, if there is one more line, we will take here and connect here. So this means if you see like this, then it is in a non-planar 3-dimensional view. Okay, so this is about the non-planar. This is applicable for both planar as well as non-planar. And coming to the procedure, how the nodal analysis we can apply for the circuits. So first procedure is, first step in that is, we have to identify all the nodes present in the circuit. Okay, so first step is to identify the nodes. We have to name the nodes as V1 or 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we have to select one reference node and one reference node. So this reference node will be nothing but 0. So we will take it, it is nothing but grounded. Okay, so that is the reference node. Now coming to the second point, after you identify the nodes, we will have to assign their voltages. So second step is to assign the node voltages. So we will name it as node voltages, we will name it as V1, V2, V3, and it goes so on up to Vn minus 1, and the reference node we will not assign, that is because it is always 0 volt. So this reference node is 0 volt and we will assign the node voltages up to n minus 1 nodes. So the third point is, write the KCL and KCL expression at each of the nodes. Okay, so writing the KCL expression at each of the nodes, because nodal is nothing but the combination of KCL plus Ohm's law. Okay, so when you write at each node, if you write KCL, then we are almost the problem of the circuit has been solved. Okay, so we will take some of the cases and we will solve the nodal analysis using them. Okay, different cases, so that these concepts will be more clearer. So in this lecture, we will see the cases, case 1, case 2 and case 3 based on our previous lecture analysis. Okay, so what was the first procedure we have to do in the nodal analysis? So yes, the circuit diagram given, it's a very easy circuit diagram to be solved. Okay, to understand the concepts, we have taken this as the circuit, and first procedure is to identify the nodes. Okay, so don't be afraid seeing the circuit diagram. First we will go procedure step by step according to the procedure, and it will be very easy. So let me identify the nodes. So what is a node? It is nothing but the joining of the branches. One or more branches, we will call it as a node. So this I can call it as node. So this is node 1. Okay, see 1, 2, 3, 4 branches are joining and it is forming one node. And here this is one more node, and here this is one more node. So this cannot be one node and this cannot be another node, because it has got the same potential. This is same as 3 and this is same as 1. So now here this all these 3 points together I can take as one node. Okay, so I will take this as 4th node. Okay, now first step is over in the procedure. Second step, it is to assign the voltages to the nodes. So I will call this as V1, and here is, I will rub this one, this is V2 and this is V3. So this is also V4, but it is grounded, so the value of it is 0 volt. So this is nothing but the reference node. So it is grounded and it is called as reference node. Okay, so we have identified all the voltages and nodes, and we have assigned the voltages for each of the node. Okay, now we have, what is our third step in the procedure? To apply the KCL at each of the nodes. So what we will do, we will take the node of V1. Okay, so first is applying nodal analysis at node at V1. Okay, so now you have to observe this node. So there are 1, 2, 3 and 4 branches. So what does KCL says? Outgoing current will be equal to the incoming current. So first we will write all the outgoing on one side and we will equate it to the incoming currents. So when you stand here, when you stand and observe from here, from V1, so this potential is higher than this potential. So this is V1. To mark the direction of the current, we will take this as here V1. So whichever node you are writing first, that will be at the higher potential and current will flow from higher to lower potential. Here also, while writing this V1, we will assume that the direction of the current is in this way. That is because we will assume V1 is at higher potential than V2. So whenever you are writing this node, considering the node V1, then assume the V1 as at higher potential. Now in this branch we do not need to write the current direction because it is already mentioned as 2 ampere. So this is incoming current. Okay, here also they have given in this branch they have given the 1 ampere current, which is outgoing. So now there are 3 branches of outgoing current and 1 is incoming. So first write the outgoing voltages. So V1 minus 0, V1 minus 0 upon 8 ohms. Okay, sorry, here is also one node. So here is the voltage source. So we will take the sign after, which is after the, while current is going here, we will take after sign. Okay, so that is in negative. So this is minus 8 divided by 8 ohms. Okay, 0, it is not required to write the reference node. Now plus, what is this? This is also outgoing. So V1 plus 6, that we are taking after sign, and the V2. So V1 plus 6 minus V2 upon the resistors in the branch. Next, this is outgoing plus 1 and incoming is 2 amperes. So we will go step by step in the first cases. Then once the base is formed for the nodal analysis, then you can skip all these steps and start directing directly. Okay. So this is the count the number of equations 1, 2, 3 and 4. So here also 1, 2, 3, 4. So always count that because sometimes it will be missed out. Now coming to the node V2. So here second step is to apply nodal analysis at V2. Okay. So count how many branches are there. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay. So now you are writing the voltage of V2, but here the direction of the current is this way. So all the previous directions which you have assumed for the current, just rub it off. Okay. So whichever node you are considering for writing the nodal equation, consider that as at the higher potential. So if you are considering V2 at the higher potential, then mark the direction of current in this way. Okay. Similarly here also, and here we do not need to mention because it's already current source is given. Okay, 3, 4, and here also current source is given. So now write the outgoing KCL standing at V2. First write outgoing currents. So this is V2 minus V1, V2 minus 6 minus V1 upon 4, that is outgoing. And which is the outgoing current? Here V2 minus V3 upon 4, V2 minus V3 upon 4 plus, so 2 ampere is outgoing, then incoming is 1 plus 2. Okay. So this is the equation for the second node, outgoing equal to incoming, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So here also 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Next coming to V3, apply nodal analysis at node V3. Okay. Now for that, now again rub all the assumed directions of current. Okay. V3 is here. Now this is, we have to consider this as higher potential and the current is going in this direction. Here also current is already mentioned outgoing, this is incoming and this is outgoing. Okay. So this is at higher potential and this is at low potential. Okay. Now write the equation standing at V3, write the outgoing 2 plus, and here V3 minus V2 upon 4, then which is the outgoing V3 minus 18 upon 6. Okay. Then incoming is 2 ohms. So 1, 2, 3, 4. How many branches? 1, 2, 3 and 4 branches. Okay. So this is the case 1. Apply, think the procedure step by step. There are only 3 steps in that procedure. First identify all the nodes. Okay. Then take one node as reference node. You can choose any node as the reference node, but for the ease, for the convenience, what we have done, we have taken same potential and we have grounded it. Okay. It will be very easy to solve. You can take node 1, node 2, node 3 also as reference, any one of the node as reference. Now you see that there are 3 equations. Okay. But how many nodes we have? 4 nodes. So always this is an important formula. Number of equations, so the conclusion from this is number of equations will be always nodes minus 1. So here there are 4 nodes, I will take this one, there are 4 nodes and minus 1. So therefore number of equations will be 3. So 1, 2 and 3 equations. Okay, we will take the next case, case number 2, that is special case, and this you can solve using Cramer's rule as well as or by hand, but in GATE exam most of these type of questions will not be asked. One of the voltages at least will be given as a hint, either V1, V2, V3 value will be given. Okay, we will see how that hint will be in the next case. Okay, so coming to the case number 2. So in this case it is the same circuit diagram. I have just removed the resistor that was present here. Okay, so we will go with the step 1, identify the nodes. We have already this as reference node, this is node 1, 2 and 3, and we will assign the voltages for them. Here is V1, V2 and V3. So now here there is an ideal source. So whenever this source is present here and here it is 0. Okay, so 0 volts. Now there is no branch here. We have already seen this type of branches. Okay, so this is one branch. Okay, so it is 4 ohm resistor. Now in this, okay, So this is 8 volt and here is also 8 volt. So this is what type of, if in a branch if there is a resistor and a voltage source, then this is nothing but practical voltage source. Okay, practical voltage source. If there is no resistor, we will consider it as ideal voltage source. Okay, now whenever in a branch, how do we consider if it has got a same potential? If there is no elements present in between these branches, then we will consider they are at the same potential. But whenever there is an element present, so this node and this node cannot be of equal potential. Okay, so here we cannot directly take this node as 8 volt. That will be wrong, because there will be some voltage drop across this resistor. But here, since no branches is present, no element is present in the branch, what we will take this as directly plus 8 volts. Okay, so there won't be any voltage drop across this branch. So whatever source is given, how much ever value of the source is given, directly it will appear in the node voltage. Now if the polarity is changed, the magnitude remains same, but what it appears with the negative sign. Okay, so keeping this in mind, we will solve this case 2. Okay, so what will be the case 2? Now directly here there is no element present in that branch, so V1 will be equal to 8 volts. This is answer for this V1. V2 and V3, it will be same as the previous one. V2, write the equation again for this one. It is nothing but the direction of the current will be in this way. Okay, so there are 5 branches, so we should have 5 elements. Okay, so writing the nodal equation for V2, what we will get? V2 minus 6 minus V1 upon 4 plus we will get V2 minus V3 upon 4, then plus 2 ampere 1 plus 2. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. For V3 it is also same as previous equation. Okay, so whenever you get an ideal source with the reference node, then and there is no element present in the branch. So ideal source, it means that there is nothing, any element present in the series with this source voltage. So whatever is the value, it will appear same with the V1. Okay, so we will see in the case number 3, it is an important concept, we will call it as supernode concept. Okay, coming to the case number 3, so this is the same circuit again. I have brought back this 4 ohm resistor and I have removed here 4 ohm resistor from this branch. So now what you see is, you have got 2 nodes. First identify the nodes 1, 2, 3 and the reference node, then assign the voltages for it, V1, V2 and V3. So once you assign that, now whenever you get, this is also an ideal source, ideal voltage source. So whenever you get the ideal voltage source in between these 2 reference nodes V1 and V2, then we will call this concept as the supernode concept. Okay, so whenever an ideal source appears between the V1 2 non-reference nodes, then you will get a super node. So while solving the super node, there is a concept that, so when you write the equations for V1 and V2 together, you won't write it separately as V1 and separately as V2. So in whichever, in between 2 nodes, whenever this appears, then we will write the equations for V1 and V2 simultaneously. So we will see how we will do that. So for V1, okay, so think that current is going in this direction. Okay, and here is outgoing current, this is in, this is there. Okay, so we will write outgoing for at V1. First solve the V1, V1 minus 8 upon 4, okay, this is at V1 and V2, V1 and V2, okay, then outgoing is again here, so leave this one V1 and V2, okay, there is we have got that super node, then here it is 1, 2, it is outgoing, that is plus 1, then this is incoming. Now there are only 2 branches of outgoing, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, 3 branches of outgoing. We are leaving the super node because we are taking in the we are considering it as in that only. Okay. So now, okay, so we are at V1 minus 8 by 4 plus 1, that is for the node V1. Okay, we will write this equation later. Okay, ignore this super node for now. So this is outgoing, 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 and that is incoming. Coming to the node 2, because we are writing it simultaneously, then this is outgoing current, this is outgoing, and from here also it is outgoing, but we will ignore this one. So V2, so here, okay, we will not assign here because it is already 2 ampere current is incoming. Okay, so we will write here outgoing is plus V2 minus V3 upon 4. Okay, so this is done, this is plus 2, then any other outgoing. Okay, so now we will write the incoming, this is incoming 2 ampere, then that 1 ampere is incoming, and here 2 ampere is incoming. So now if you observe this, you have got 1 here and this 1 here. So what is this one? It is nothing but the current source which is connected in parallel with the ideal voltage source, that is the super node. So the conclusion is that it gets cancelled out. So whenever in parallel, whenever if in the super node, if there is any branch connected parallel to that super node, it will be ignored. Okay, so this branch will not have any significance, it will get cancelled out. Okay, now this equation for super node we have not written. So what we will do, V2 minus V1 will be equal to 6 ohm. V2 minus V1 is equal to 6 volts. If whatever assumed higher potential is different, then we will get a negative answer for that. Okay, V2 minus V1 is equal to 6 volts. Okay, so this one equation is reduced already, 1, 2, and the third equation we will get it from the node 3. So apply nodal at V3. So this will be nothing but same as previous equation. So there are two things to note in this super node concept. One, in whichever branches, in between whichever nodes the ideal voltage source appears, write those equations simultaneously. Second, whenever a branch is connected in parallel with the ideal voltage source, that branch will not have any significance, it will get cancelled out. Okay, so this is about the nodal analysis, case 1, case 2 and case 3. So when we solve the problems based on this, it will be more clearer. Okay, so in the next class we will take some of the problems and we will take the cases problems related to these cases. So the concepts will be more clearer. So in GATE exam, this nodal analysis is most commonly used. In mesh analysis, it's time consuming. So but there are some problems which can be solved only using mesh analysis. We will take those problems also. Okay, thank you.